Good morning. We're through with the penal system, and I'm happy to take a breather from that and get into normal phases of life. And this one, I'll be kind of a fussy grandfather who's talking to the grandkids, and they're having a little trouble with their human affairs. And so I'll give you a little lecture. It's how to find a great guy and how to find a great girl. Fairly practical. Very, very hard to do, apparently, particularly since we don't have arranged marriages anymore. And people actually expect to get something out of a relationship. The old thing where you just sort of did your roles and you smiled nicely was really a lot easier. But this, looking for real relationships, that's hard as hell. But I'll give you one cue. And I like to go to my own family when something is striking. And of course, I like to talk about what's good in it. So I'll talk about something that was good. There's a word, Schadenfreude in German, and it's very well known in English, even though it's a German word. It's the joy in the misfortune of others. And it's very common. And a lot of what we call hate, everybody seems to put down others. They're happy when somebody else gets in trouble. It's really the joy in the misfortune of others. Sometimes it's allied with kind of big events like how are the nobles fallen? How are great people going down? We enjoy that something bad happens to others, and sometimes it's just pretty petty, but there's a lot of it, and not hate. We just like to see some billionaire get caught and going to prison, or something else, some dictator just getting caught and run out of town. We like that. But I have wondered for years, there ought to be something, the joy in the good fortune of others. Freude, but there isn't anything. And then to my surprise, there actually is a word like that in German, the joy in the good fortune of others. And I thought, gee, how come we don't hear that? And you know why we don't hear it? Because it's not that common. It is not that common. People like to cluck and say, isn't it interesting what happened? So-and-so's farm failed, or they fell and he got fired. You like to talk about it. But we don't see that much Freude. And I'm fortunate in my own home. I have my mother, who really just lit up when anything good that happened. They got into college, they got a promotion, they got married, they got engaged. Oh my God, they had a kid. Oh, wow. Couldn't stop talking about that. And she was like that. And my Aunt Rebecca was absolutely unbelievable that way. She laughed, she enjoyed things. She was the lady who took me and my brother to the country, to the beach. She went out and played basketball with us. We rode bikes with her. She took her all over. We absolutely enjoyed her, and she enjoyed us. It was a great thing. And she always was that way. She just was happy when somebody else was happy. But real happiness, it wasn't put on. It was just, you could see her glow. My Uncle Joe, an engineer, kind of very straight and not had that great sense of humor, but he glowed when anything good happened. And it was sort of more of a deep glow. You could see that he really felt something coming out of that. Would mean a lot to him, and not a mean bone in his body. And then I had my Aunt Mary. She would come, she would take us to the theater. She would just loved everybody, smiled. Never, ever did I hear one mean word out of her, just, and when I remember she took us to Oklahoma, and, I got, there's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looked like it's climbing clear up to the sky. And then I looked at her when she sang, oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've had a wonderful feeling. Everything's glowing my way. And she just glowed. She absolutely glowed. I can't disguise that. Look for people like that. Look for people. And you know what? They're real. They stay that way. See you next time.